Our tale begins in a town where adventurers typically rest at the end of their travels. Sometimes for a brief time, sometimes for years. Mapleacre, in the land of Eyria. But for 5 friends, our heroes, their travels and their story is only beginning. Fiona Clare, a human dedicated to studying the disciplines of magic, whose stoic exterior hides a far-seeing mind towards the future's infinite unknowns. Gemma Tuxnot, a halfling from a family of particular renown amongst adventurers, whose mischievous magic becomes unexpectedly dark in the wake of an event she has yet to reveal. Mele, a Goliath dedicated to honing her mind and body, and most loyal to that which is most important in life. The selfless, the self-sacrificing love between friends and family. Ivory and Ebony, Earth Genasi twins with an affinity for wood and world beyond the connection inherent in their blood. While Ebony treks the fringes of the wilderness, Ivory embodies the very bones of nature itself. The girls became fast friends during their first adventure as children. Mele's dwarven father, Dane Braunbear, sent the girls into the forest to scout a clearing for their own treehouse, a task they gleefully accepted. When they arrived at the spot, a scuffle with twig blights turned into a desperate battle when a dark druid emerged from the tree's shadows. Only the unexpected arrival of a hunting party, led by Dane himself, resulted in the sound defeat of the creatures. Alongside Dane was Annamarie Tuxnot, Gemma's own mother and a ranger of impressive reputation, and Judgment, a tiefling renowned as the greatest fighter in Mapleacre. They congratulated the girls on drawing out the druid, who had been terrorizing travellers for some time, but continually escaped the grasp of Mapleacre's adventurers. Many children would grow fearful at the idea of their parents sending them into such danger, but for Fiona, Gemma, Mele, Ivory, and Ebony, it was only indicative of a childhood raised by people whose lives were defined by the thrill of high risk for high reward. Adventurers, as the girls themselves planned to become. Over the next 6 years, they studied and trained with their parents and other Mapleacre citizens, as well as in the seclusion of their promised treehouse. The house was constructed with the help of Mele's father, but also magicked by the mysterious witch Baba Yaga, who provided little explanation for her aid and passed through Mapleacre as quickly as she'd come. One day, the girls were lounging in their treehouse when a commotion outside drew their attention. Sneaking out, they encountered a group of passing Githyanki scouts. After the creatures were slain, a note was discovered on the bodies. It included detailed instructions for breaking into Gemma's house to steal an unnamed artifact, while the town's attention was diverted elsewhere. Disturbed, the girls decided to return home and reveal the plot. At that moment, the grove darkened as shadows passed by overhead, streaking towards Mapleacre. It was the unmistakable shadows of dragons. The girls barely had time to react when Fiona's mother, Grace, appeared before them. She instructed Fiona to tell her father, Linus, to meet her in the eastern field outside Mapleacre, then left without further explanation to confront the invaders while the girls headed to Fiona's house. After a brief battle with Linus's warding magic that pinned the girls against doppelgangers of themselves, they made their way into the study of Fiona's father, a wizard and scholar of exceptional intellect. Linus had served as head of Mapleacre's council alongside Gemma's mother for some years now. With news of the oncoming invasion, he and the girls made their way to the eastern field, where an army of dragons and their masters awaited them. Linus and Annamarie stepped forward to meet the intruders. Their leader, an intimidating Githyanki atop a grown red dragon, demanded the surrender of their town, or else face the fury of his army. Linus answered the challenge by transforming into a dragon himself, and Annamarie called forth her great eagles for aid, plunging Mapleacre's protectors into fierce battle. Even the girls deterred a flanking team of Githyanki who attempted to sneak past the battle and into the town itself, presumably in pursuit of the artifact in Gemma's house. Before long, the immense power of Mabelacre's citizens drove back the invaders to retreat, but not without the town's own casualties. As the girls returned to the field, they found Mele's father, Dane Bronbear, had fallen while battling the Githyanki leader and his fearsome mount. Over the next few days, grief and tears were mingled with a growing sense of trepidation amongst Mabelacre's council. At Gemma's questioning, Annis admitted that the artifact, the details of which she refused to reveal, was one she had acquired during her own adventuring days. The council was concerned over the sudden interest in the artifact, an interest so great that the Githyanki would risk threatening a town as respected as Mabelacre. With similar tensions mounting throughout the land of Eyria, several council members, including Linus and Annis, left with the artifact in hand to meet with leaders of other cities. It seemed war was looming on the horizon of Eyria, though the news was murky at best for most folk, including our own heroes. The girls received only sporadic letters from their parents over the next 6 years. They threw themselves back into training and studies, preparing for the day when they could traverse the land and perhaps gain their own insight into the dark machinations plaguing the people of Eyria. And as it happened, that day came more abruptly than anticipated. With many of their parents gone, the girls had taken to living in their treehouse, until the day Baba Yaga herself strode in, removing a single piece of enchanted runework from the house's exterior, and locked the girls out of their own magical home. When Gemma remained silent on the matter, and with nowhere else to go, the girls decided to confront Baba Yaga themselves. They gathered their belongings, and what information they could, and set out for the forest of Tree Deep, and the beginning of their adventure. An adventure which has not yet unfolded, but will undoubtedly challenge our heroes' strength in themselves and their love for each other. As for our heroes' depart, the question remains, what will they discover in the shadows over Eyria?